YouTube! Today we have Skull Servants in Duel Links thanks to the brand new mini box Energy of Giga Rays, giving us 3 brand new support cards, right? First of all, we have the White Mare, who can discard himself to either return a card from your banished pile back to the field or from your banished pile back to the graveyard. Really good for stocking up the attack points on your King of the Skull Servants. 2. Wightprince, who is your main combo card. You send him to the graveyard. When he's sent to the graveyard, you can send together from your hand or deck a Skull Servant and a Lady in White, and then you can banish all 3 of them to summon into your big boy King of the Skull Servants, but he'll have 0 attack because you're not going to have that many resources in your graveyard. And finally, this might genuinely be the best card from the box, the most impactful card from the box on Ranked. It is Wightprincess. She is a hand trap generic, can go in any deck. When she's normal special summoned, you can send a Wightprince to the graveyard from your deck, so you just get off that combo right away. Also, being hand trap, you can send her from the field or hand to the graveyard to make every monster on the field lose 300 attack points times their rank or level. Which means, if you're playing Skull Servants, then your big boy is only losing 300 attack points, but every other monster on the field is going to go down quite a bit. That's 1200 for a rank 4, that's 2100 for a level 7, which are the 2 kind of most common levels you're going to be seeing on ladder. And how do you get this guy in the graveyard, right? There's multiple ways, but the way I'm using is the tried and true Neos Fusion. Now, yes, this card is a 3-off in a structure deck. It does make this deck a lot less free to play, but whatever way you're playing this, it's going to be less free to play. The core is free to play entirely, right? It's all from the mini box or from level ups or rank duel tickets, but every other way you're playing this deck is going to be kind of expensive. Second option is Light Swans, is basically milling out your deck, relying on a bit more luck to actually get you into your Skull Servants, then, summoning a big level 7 synchro like Black Rose Dragon, nuking the board, and summoning your Skull Servant, King of the Skull Servants, making it, can be like 10,000 attack points and attack it for game. And I've tried literally every build, right? I've tried Keyboard Dragon Magic builds, I've tried 26 card Neos Fusion builds, I've tried Light Swan builds, and to me, this one feels the best, but none of them feel all that great. Right, there's not one in particular that feels amazing. And in terms of win rate, right, I think I played about 20 games and it was about a 50-60% win rate, right? So not terrible, but not overly amazing. And this deck will probably gate King games, but it will be a struggle. It's going to be a struggle because you can see there's no real back row removal, right? What you would do turn 1, if you're playing Neos Fusion, you draw to Neos Fusion, right? You play Neos Fusion, you then send your Wightprince, get your whole searching off, go into Neos Fusion, into Brave Neos. Turn 2, you would go into a Farfa, because you then pop the monster on the field, can then attack indirectly. Hopefully that might be game depending on your board state. That's kind of the thinking there. So what we're going to do is we're going to have some live duels and then some duel replays. Of course, everything down below will be timestamped if you want to skip to duel replays or a specific duel. Then we'll have some wins, some losses, of course. The duel replays in particular, some of them are very spicy. So enjoy those. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in some live duels. Okay, My Valentine's our first opponent, and you're probably going to be Harpies, right? Unless they're playing Hazy Flame, which I would hope so, but Harpies are going to be a close to, what is that deck size? 30 cards. Okay, this is a very good hand. This is very good. Wightprincess, 2 of them. Lady in White, which, okay, sure enough, that's fine. But Neos Fusion, the main core card of our deck. So, going to be playing the Harpy's Hunting Ground skill and summoning into the Harpy channel. Okay, so they're going to get their combo off pretty much immediately. Going to be ending on a Cyber Slash, but they have 30 card deck. So, hopefully, they won't be ending on some insane back row. They probably still will because they can search it out, of course, with a spell card. But let's pick up from when they kind of finish off and see how we do from there. Synchro summoning into the Cyber Slash Harpy Lady, the main core card of that deck. Going to be playing the Harpy Feather Rest from the hand. This combo of just getting into this synchro and then drawing 2 cards is kind of insane, but hopefully she doesn't draw into any back row. I would hope not. Harpy Oracle going to be able to add 1 to the hand in the end phase, so nothing crazy. But let's see. Of course you drew a 1-off back row. Now, hopefully, it's nothing we can not kind of get around. So let's see. I'm going to actually... Oh, see, that's not all that great. Right, that's not all that great. But I think we have a way here. So let's go and play our Wightprincess, and then we're going to use this effect to send to the graveyard from the deck the Wightprince. Wightprince activates. God, when there's 3 Princesses, like you do not need this many in your hand, right? We're then going to send the Skull Servant, and we'll go and send the Lady in White from the deck. Now, now we go and play Neos Fusion. Let's go this, and then it's kind of hard. I kind of want to go for the Farfa, right? So we can banish it, but then if she does bounce it back to hand anyway in a quick effect response, then we can't do anything. So yeah, let's go for the Wightprince again into Brave Neos. And then we'll use Wightprince's effect in the graveyard to send these two. Goodbye, Skull Servant. Goodbye, the Lady in White. And now... oh, now it's the tough one. Because that field is looking... we can't special summon anyway, right? Because that we can't special summon, which is really annoying. So, let's attack in and see what happens. Let's see what happens. For damage calc, right, sure. And then we'll attack him with this. And then we're going to, in the hand, play our Wightprincess from the hand, discarding it, because our Neos Fusion will survive the attack. And then we'll search out for our Neos Fusion. Alright, that was not the play I wanted to make, but I think that play worked out best. So now we have, of course, we can of course use this in her turn as well. The one in hand. We should be in a very good spot to next turn summon into a very, very big King of the Skull Servants. Going to be playing the Harpy Harpist, which of course can Hysteric Sign. It wasn't anything actually activatable. Okay, but this turn she can probably make a Cyber Slash, bounce the hand. So this might not go as well. But we know that Cyber Slash goes down to 200 attack points, which means that if we do have to play Wightprincess in our hand on a Wightprincess, it's going to survive. It's going to be, 3, 9, it's going to be 700 attack points, so it will survive. But that depends on what he bounces, and he's probably going to bounce Neos Fusion, right? Probably bounce the Brave Neos, of all of them. So, but you've got so much. You've got this draw 2, you've got a bounce, and an Elegant Egotist. That I think this one might be a solid L, but it depends again on what Mai does. It really does depend on her actions in this moment. Another Oracle, and one in the back row. She's not playing the Egotist, which you can play. No! Not going to play the Egotist. Okay. So I'm gonna use the one in hand, because my Wightprincess will survive. Which is fantastic. Goodbye. Go away. Just go away. Harpist in the graveyard is going to add a level Wing Beast from her deck to her hand. So I'm really hoping that back row again is not a Treacherous, because if it is, then, and he used it before we summon into our Neos Fusion, then we might be losing the duel. We just might. So let's see, draw into... not really the card I wanted to see, honestly. Let's go and use the effect of it. Let's go and do a king play, first of all. Banish you, and banish, I guess the Wightprincess doesn't really matter anymore. So let's go into our, first of all, our big boy, King of the Skull Servants with 5,000 attack points. There is a Floodgate face down. Okay, fair enough. That is completely fine. We'll go and then Neos Fusion. That's also kind of the thing, is that this deck doesn't really have any protection, right? You of course have your Lady in White. Where is your Lady in White? She's here. Who does make them unaffected by Spell Trap card effects, right? But the amount of times you're getting her on the field alongside a king isn't really that often. So let's go into another Neos Fusion. We'll go and send you, and we can OTK. We can OTK. We'll do it. We'll send the Farfa. Farfa effect in the graveyard activates to banish the Harpy on the field, and then she scoops. Fair enough. First game down, going pretty well. On to game 2 versus an Antinomy. Okay, TG's Tech Genius. You know, I've said it in my last video, I think it was, the Wave Duel one. Not a huge fan of this matchup. They could summon some very big synchros. 20 cards, okay, so playing a bit more of a standard ratio. And he's playing, doesn't say what skill. So going first, we actually drew into a pretty much an... this is not good. This is also one of the problems with any version of Skull Servant, right? If you're playing Light Swans, if you're playing Neos Fusion, you're playing a bit more of a bigger deck. If you don't see a starter card, then you're pretty much screwed. And as we just saw, we've seen one single Wightprince. But what it does mean is when it's drawn by battle, you can then of course send the 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard, which is great. Then next turn we can almost summon the king, summon a big king in attack mode for 3,000 tower points. We really need to see the Neos Fusion. If we do, then we've got a very good chance of winning. If we don't, and we see the princess, then we've also got a okay chance of winning. Not a great chance of winning, but a better one. Okay, sending 2 back row and passing on a level 7, which does mean Black Rose Dragon access. And that really wasn't what I wanted to see. Oh no, okay, White Mare, which would have been fine in any other circumstance. Now I think I did, of course I took out my rank 1 for this version of the deck. Of course I did. Either way, this doesn't do anything. I'm gonna have to set the White Mare. Because like, I can't... Yes, you can make Black Rose Dragon and nuke the board, but I think given that we couldn't do anything, I think now it is actually just going to be a hard L. We're just going to take the L and walk away from this duel. Synchro Shokan into Crystron, Quarion, Gandrax. 3k attack points, can kill cards on the field. Go ahead, go and do it. Just, that's fine. Banishing them, which means it's the one thing we don't want to happen with this deck. You do not want your Wightprince banished because we don't get the effect off. But if we kept White Mare, then we could have at least done something. But there is the Monster Reborn, going to be going in and summoning out to the field, probably the level 5 Synchro, right? Yeah, you'll just summon him out, and that is going to be game, pretty much. If he can make anything else, that's going to be game. There we go. Our first loss with the Skull Servants. That's going to happen. It's not a deck that can very easily come back when it does brick hard. So, on to game 3, I guess. You know, that didn't go quite as well as we had expected, but let's see who our opponent is. It's going to be Yuto. This could literally be anyone. This could be Phantom Knights, it could be someone leveling up the character. I kind of hope it's Phantom Knights because I want to see how this deck does against them. I think they're going to struggle, but let's see, 20 cards. Let us see our drawing into... Not a terrible hand. I would have liked to see a Lady in White, not Lady in White, the Wightprincess, personally, but this wasn't terrible. Because we can turn 1 get out a very big Skull Servant, but he does have double back row, which could very easily be a Treacherous, and there is a Neos Fusion. Let's go and activate our Neos Fusion. Gonna send the Brave Neos. Let's go and send the Neos in our deck, and we'll send the, where are you? The Wightprince from our deck to the graveyard. Into Brave Neos, Wightprince in the graveyard activate. It's gonna be grabbing back to the graveyard. Or, there is a back row. Something is there, something is activatable. So there's not a Treacherous, at least one of them isn't a Treacherous. One of them could be not an MST. So Divine Wrath, maybe? Let's go send the Skull Servant, let's go and send the Lady in White, and then we can normal summon from our hand the King of the Skull Servants. 3,200 tap points, here comes the Treacherous. Maybe, possibly, could be. Is it going to be a Treacherous? There isn't, okay. So, I'm expecting a drowning. Come on, do it. Drowning me, please. I mean, don't please, but Fiendish Chain. Okay. So that's a killer card for this, because what it does is it does make our attack point 0. Not a good look. Not a good look at all. Which is why we really... And a Book of Moon. Literally the 2 most impactful back row cards you could have had. If only he Book of Mooned the Skull Servant. Because that would have been really good. I would have rather the Fiendish Chain be on the Neos than the Skull Servant. But let's see what he can do. Because if he... the good thing is if he does summon Dark Rebellion, he can't get it big enough. Because our Skull Servant doesn't have the attack points. And we can't protect our Brave Neos if he does go and do the pop of the Break Sword. So there's that as well. So either way, we're kind of not in a good spot. But the second he destroys our King of the Skull Servant, it's going to float back into itself by banishing one of our cards in our graveyard. So we're going to lose some attack points, but we're going to gain a 2,000 attack Skull Servant on the field, which is going to be really nice depending on what we draw into, of course, because I don't think by itself it can beat a Break Sword. And there we go. There is the... Oh, it can with our field spell. It can with a field spell. Okay, so there's the Break Sword. He hasn't used his skill yet. His Phantom Knight's Bulkblade skill. popping the Fiendish Chain. And that's destroyed the Neos. Okay. Why? Oh, no, Dark Rebellion can make it. Yeah, okay. Okay, if he does make Dark Rebellion, but he can't. Ah, he messed up. Oh my god, you idiot. You should have popped your little guy, right? Then pop my Neos and then just attacked in. And then you would have been fine. Like, next turn you would have had to deal with, of course, the Skull Servant, but you would have been fine. And that is one of the ways you can, of course, just win with Skull Servants, is if your opponent is absolutely an idiot and doesn't know how to play their deck. I'm actually going to really quickly go and put in the Princess Sprite because I think it's going to be quite useful. I'm going to take out the Gaia Charge. I haven't really used much of the X-Deck package in this deck apart from Neos's, because your main goal is summoning on into the Skull Servant. And so if you're not seeing the level 3s to make the rank 3, then that doesn't really matter. So let's go in for one more duel maybe, see how we do. And there might be some duel replays afterwards because I think I've got some really fun ones. Joey Wheeler for our final potential duelist of the video, playing a 28 card deck. I don't think Red Eye's Insight. Of course you would. Of course in a 28 card deck, you would top Red Eye's Insight. Of course. It just how, right? Just how. Oh, okay. So going to make turn 1, probably Slash Dragon. You don't make the big Archfiend Skull Dragon turn 1. So, ooh, Phantom Knight Red Eyes. Okay. Huh. That's kind of interesting, I guess. That could... But then I wonder why you would play Joey over Yuto, unless you don't have Yuto, unless you're a new player that didn't actually get Yuto because you missed out. Then that makes sense. This could be, despite the big deck size, this could be pretty cool. Sending the Cloak to the graveyard, okay, fair enough. And of course can banish it from the graveyard to add a Phantom Knight's card from your deck to your hand. You're kind of done for this turn. You've got 2 back row. You got a 3rd one as well? No, okay. Alright, sure. So let's see, Skull Servant, not really the best card we could have seen, but sure. But let's go and do... Yeah, we kind of just have to go Wightprincess first of all, right? And then... We can't do much this turn. But we might not be able to anyway. That back row is activatable, it's reactable. So let's see, Wightprince in the graveyard as well can be activating, going to give us out our Skull Servant. So let's go 1 from the deck, and then 1 from the deck as well. And now we could just go for King, but King wouldn't do anything right now, so I'm just going to 27, 28, that's going to be... You know what? I'm going to pass. And hope that he just attacks in and doesn't have any back row that can get rid of our card. Because we can make his, what, 27, 21, that becomes 6. Our monster becomes 900. So we win in that interaction, but of course can now bring out Phantom Knights and go into, of course, the Breaksword, which will put a stop to our plan for the moment. But we're not done. We're not done. We're not out. So in for the Breaksword, I would assume now you're gonna pop himself and then pop our guy. But we can, of course, chain this, right? Yeah, we can, I think. So gonna pop himself, I assume, or the back row. You've got a back row. Okay. So let's go and use our one on field that's targeted. So it's graveyard, and then they're all gonna be weak. They're all gonna go very, very weak. Oh, look at those numbers. It was a Cosmic Cyclone, okay. So Red Eyes Roulette, which is the whole you excavate 1, add 1, send 1 back, getting a Insight, which I guess is going to probably go and get a no. Okay, sure. I'll let you just attack in if you want to. If you want to do that, that's fine. Okay. So no Dark Rebellion. That's at least a good sign. Gonna clog his back row with the, of course, the Phantom Knight's equip, which means we can't now target the Red Eyes or any card on the field, which is fine. We have nothing apart from the Farfa that can really do that, so that's fine. But let's see. Can we top deck into anything good? Neos Fusion would be incredible right now. Let's see. It is a Whitemare. Okay. So Whitemare can get us actually into a... Right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in the graveyard. We have to banish 3 to summon our king, and then that's 1, we'll send 2, 3. So I think actually... I think we can do that. I think that works out quite nicely. So, it's a tough one as well. So, let's go and summon Wightprincess and activate your effect. And then we'll go and do the whole sending to the graveyard, right? So we'll go send you Wightprince activates, and then we'll keep it on just in case he does have anything to chain to that. That's fine. Send the Skull Servant, send a Lady in White, and then we will banish from our graveyard this Wightprince. And we'll go banish 1, 2, bring you back out in for a nice 3,000 attack point. King of the Skull Servants. 4,200 attack points, sorry. That is very, very big. So, ooh, I can actually... I think I can actually... I can just win here, right? Yeah. So use Whitemare. Whitemare gonna... I'm gonna actually bring back out our Lady in White. Gonna bring you out, because that means now our King of Skull Servants is unaffected by spell cards, which is really, really good. Becomes 5k. And now we can go and attack into the Break Sword. Hopefully we'll get to the damage step and that should be fine. Let's see, come on. Please, give me the win. Wightprincess, since the graveyard, becomes really big. 47. There we go. Nice. Nice win against the Red Eyes. It was pretty fun. But now let's go on to some duel replays because there's a couple of games I had that were pretty good. So enjoy those and I'll see you all in the next Duel Links video. See you then.
Duel. Duel. Duel.